It's really an honor to have you on the show. It's
Glad to be here.
yeah. And so tell us a little something about how you actually got started with tasting history. Yeah.
Yeah, so tasting history came about. Well, partly it came about as simply a way to have something creative to do. I was working for Walt Disney Studios. This was back in 2019, working for Walt Disney Studios. I loved it, but I was doing creative work for the mouse
Mm.
and not for me. So I wanted to do something that was kind of my own project, and I've always loved history, and I had recently gotten into baking specifically, but cooking, but baking specifically by watching the Great British Bake Off, and uh, and so I was thinking of things to do for YouTube, and one of my coworkers said, "You're always bringing in these baked goods and giving us lectures on the history of Madeleines and whatnot. So why don't you put that up on YouTube?" And
Mm.
that's how it started. And it
Oh,
started. I put up my first video just a couple weeks before COVID hit.
really? Hmm.
So then when I was sent home from COVID, it was kind of I got to work full time on it, which was you know, a blessing in disguise. Hard time, but it allowed me to really work on the channel.
Yeah. Yeah. COVID really turned everybody's life upside down, actually. It
Yeah.
was kind of,
Yeah.
I know with me, I was working for a company in Germany, and all of a sudden this thing hit, and it was like, whoa. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now what do we do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, basically, I still was employed, but I was working from home. So it was a very different situation. And luckily, I
Yeah.
had just moved into a huge apartment. So, it was okay.
Yeah.
But it was very
Not a
strange.
bad place to be. Yeah.
No, it wasn't a bad place to be. So that's okay. Yeah. And so you were working in the marketing department at the studio, or?
So most of my career there had been in marketing in
Okay.
different aspects. I worked in media, then I worked for a long time kind of on the music and rights clearances side for
Mm,
our trailers.
mm,
Um, but when I was working there, I was working about 80 hours a week. And
mm.
so it kind of burnt me out.
Yeah.
So I actually switched jobs to work in theatrical sales, which is putting our movies into movie theaters and
Yeah.
figuring out the logistics of actually getting them there and trying to keep them there.
Mm.
And that was a much more 9 to 5, 40 hours a week job. I really, really enjoyed it, but I was only there for about 6 or 7 months, I think, before COVID hit. So it was a
Yeah.
short period.
Yeah, because also too, the thing with COVID really, destroyed the experience of going to the theater and stuff like that to see a movie. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why I was furloughed. A lot of people at Disney, my husband works there and he continued to work there throughout lockdown, but I was putting movies literally into theaters. He was working for Disney Plus, so actually it was really busy for him.
Mm,
But I was not necessary anymore, and so I quickly was furloughed.
mm,
Again, blessing in disguise.
mm.
Mm.
Yeah, it happens this way. Unfortunately, it was, yeah. But so when did you decide to actually do your books? Yeah, when did that come up? Mm,
So the book came about fairly early on. I want to say it was late summer that year, 2020,
mhm,
when a an editor from Simon and Schuster emailed me
mm,
and said, "Hey, I think that your show could make a cookbook."
yeah,
And I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing there. So as long as you're willing to walk me through it, then yeah, let's do this." And basically, as soon as I signed,
hmm.
she was laid off.
No,
And
no.
so then I was sent over to another editor who I've been working with. It turned out wonderful, but he didn't know anything about my show. He didn't know, and so kind of explaining the concept of, well, yes, this is a cookbook, but really it's a history book that also has recipes in it.
Mm.
It took a little, there were some growing pains there, but it ended up working out.
Oh, okay, that's great. Yeah, because it's interesting because I never miss any of your episodes, and I
Thank you.
watched your watching them. I saw the book, and I thought, I'm going to order the book. So I ordered the book, and I was really, it's a great book, actually. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
And I keep it on
Thank
my
you.
coffee table. And that's why I've always had friends come over and they say, "Oh, I've seen this. Oh, I gotta look at this," and all that. And then that's why I thought, "Oh, ideas for Christmas here." Yeah,
Something there. Something there.
yes.
Yeah, I'm currently working on the second book.
Hmm.
And it's similar in some ways, kind of in the setup, but it's very, very different. It's much more specific to a certain topic,
Yeah.
specifically disasters, catastrophes, wars throughout history, and the
Mm.
foods associated with those events. So, a very, very different feel to this book, I think. And hopefully I'll have it done soon.
Well, what's interesting, what I really like about your book is the fact that the recipes are done in a way that really motivates you to try it in many situations. For example, I tried your onion soup that you had
Oh
there,
yeah.
and it was lovely. It was really great. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
really different way of
Yeah,
doing it.
it's
Yeah.
it's many of the recipes are pleasantly surprising because it's never been my goal to necessarily share recipes that are delicious. The flavor has almost nothing. It is an ancillary property for me. It is more, is this interesting? Is
Mm,
there interesting history to talk about? Does this form of, say, French onion soup differ greatly from the modern form? And what is that change? And if it tastes good, fantastic.
yeah.
But that is never the point.
Mm,
Because there are some recipes in the cookbook that are, again, fun to make,
mm,
like melos zomos, the
mm.
black blood broth from Sparta, or hardtack, which is just super hard bread. But I wouldn't, you're not going to find those in a lot of cookbooks,
Well, that's
Ina
true.
Garden is not doing hardtack
Well,
anytime soon.
exactly. Yeah, this is true. Yeah. It was like, for example, I was doing a project in Portugal, and they took me to this restaurant, and they told me this. Oh, they had this very special blood sausage there. You know, it's very spicy and everything you have to try. And the man said, "Well, we can only should only bring a small one because it's very rich." And my the person who brought me says, "This guy eats a lot. Bring him the whole thing." It was
Was
very
it
good.
good?
It was excellent. Very good. Yeah, yeah. There are some places in Lisbon that definitely worth a visit. This place that I went to, it's adorned with neckties everywhere.
Hmm.
And everybody who comes, if you're wearing a tie, you're supposed to leave it there to add to their collection.
Oh,
And
goodness.
they've got this like thousands of neckties everywhere on the walls there. And they have the thing where, you have a steak and you cook it on the table. They have this big stone, you know, piece of, I don't know what type of stone they use, but they heat it and you actually cook your meat right there in front of you. Yeah.
Hmm.
And so it was very
Oh,
good.
very
Yeah.
cool.
Very nice. Yeah. Mm. But actually, that area of Portugal is known very much for the codfish there. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Portugal
yeah,
is known for cod.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they have these huge places there that actually they just sort of storage facilities and everything like that. Yeah,
Salted cod and whatnot. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, no. So it's very so. In your trips to Europe, are you amassing more ideas for your shows and recipes and things like this?
Yeah.
Mm.
Whether it's Europe or the States or Mexico, wherever I go,
Yeah.
um, it is, I always come back with a slew of ideas because I get introduced to foods that I never knew existed. Or
Mm.
in the case of an episode that I'm putting out tomorrow, everyone knows goulash
Yeah.
uh, from Hungary. But here in the States, it is wildly different than goulash in Hungary.
Yeah.
Here it's, a kind of a thick stew and very often with macaroni or potatoes or something else. There, it's a soup.
Yeah.
And so just, being able to kind of share that and the things that I've learned on these travels.
Mm.
Rarely do I travel with any idea of what I want to
Mm.
learn.
Yeah.
Because I figure if I already have an idea of what I want to learn, I could probably just look it up on the internet. The cool thing about travel is that it forces you to learn things that you could have never thought about. So yeah, usually I just keep a list as I'm going around of different foods, and often it's not the food, it's the history,
Yeah.
interesting stories through
Hmm.
history. You can when we were in Vienna and or actually Florence. We were in Florence. We were in Vienna, but we were also in Florence, and we went into Il Duomo. And the person taking us around was talking about that there were writings from the period about snack shops that were up in the rafters as they were building the dome, hundreds of feet in the air. They didn't want the
Incredible.
workers having to go up and down because it was rather dangerous. And so they built these little snack shops up there that sold different foods for the workers. So I'm trying to find out more about that. And I'm like, well, I could tell the story of Brunelleschi, and building Il Duomo and via the lens of food. So
Interesting.
I
Yeah.
find ideas wherever I go.
Oh, I see. And your recent trip when you went to Rome, did you find some interesting stuff there? Or?
Lots of stuff. I actually have two Roman episodes coming out here in the next
Excellent.
couple weeks.
Yeah.
Not necessarily based on things that I learned there, but definitely kind of, it kindled that, oh, I want to talk about Rome,
Yeah.
that muscle I have. Um, but definitely, just walking around those ruins, it's inspiring.
Yeah, this is true. This is totally true. I know the first time I went to Rome, I stayed in a hotel that was just across from the Colosseum.
Hmm.
And so it was amazing. There's actually a pizzeria which is just on the other side there. And it's you have to cross through some ruins to get there. And
Hmm.
some of these places they're not very fancy at all, but the food is so good. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the best food that we had was not in the fanciest of places. Absolutely.
I mean, I know did one episode about Alfredo's,
Hmm.
and my parents had been there, and they said, "Oh, you have to go to Alfredo's. You have to go there." And so I went there, and it was great, actually. It was excellent, but
Oh,
they
good.
really don't treat the fettuccine as the main
It's
course.
not. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's not the star. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the stars. You have to order the other things like this. And this is the thing I noticed because was doing a lot of work at the studio there of Cinecittà. And you go for lunch there, and boy, I mean, you're eating a lot there because they had the prima piatto, the segundo, and everything like this. And by the time you get finished, you're full. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah. We were full for 3 weeks,
yeah.
basically the entire trip. And yet I still fit in probably, and I'm not joking, 25 different gelato tasting experiences in 8 days, in our last 8 days
Wow.
in Italy. Several a day. Where are we
Wow.
going to go to gelato between every single meal?
Yeah. Now you have a Japanese version coming out of your book too, or
Japanese translation, yeah, it is
yeah.
out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it here, but
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, no, it's being translated into all sorts of languages. I believe that the first came out was Polish, but now
Really?
we have French. I believe German is coming, Croatian,
Mm-hmm.
um, Thai,
Oh,
I
amazing.
believe,
Wow.
um, Japanese. Yeah, lots. And it's an interesting process because I have almost no say in it.
Mm.
Italian is coming. Um, it's not like I take this book to publishers in those countries and say, "Hey, would you translate it?" Because a lot of work goes into that, and they have to put in a lot of money, obviously.
Mm.
So they reach out to my publisher, who then reaches out to me, and by the time it gets to me, really, I can just say, "Sure, let's have it translated into this language," or "No, let's not." But why would I say no? Of course I'm going to say sure.
Well, exactly.
Um, and then I don't hear anything about it until it hits the bookshelves.
Oh, really?
So,
Yeah. Because I
and
remember
that
that.
can take another year.
Yeah, because I saw the episode you did with George Takai. Yeah. And
Hmm.
you mentioned about the Japanese version there, and I thought, well, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
That's amazing. Yeah.
yeah. And I think I approved that being done at least a year and a half ago, and
Hmm.
then it just came out, and I hadn't heard anything about it in the interim.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, one day I'll just get a box with half a dozen or a dozen Polish copies of the cookbook or
Well,
Japanese copies of the cookbook.
that
And it's
was
always
what.
interesting to see like what they've changed and what they haven't. Um, yeah.
That is kind of funny because I remember the first, because I published a couple of books, and the first book I published, and all of a sudden this box arrived with all these copies of the book, and so I was, whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, big surprise. Yeah.
yeah.
But
Though I only have a few actual copies of Tasting History,
mhm.
and most of them are here. I'll show you one. I don't know if you can see, but the front cover is warped,
Oh, I
and
see.
so I'll take these because I'm like, well, I'll just hold on to these because otherwise they can't sell them.
Mm.
But so, a lot of people will message me and they're like, "Hey, can I buy your book directly from you?" And I have to say, "No. I One, I don't have any, and two, I would have no way of processing a payment or shipping it to you or
Well,
anything
yeah,
like that."
exactly. It's a bit complicated, the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I did have someone from Poland ship me a book that they bought, had me
Hmm.
sign it, and then paid for me to ship it back.
Wow.
And it was $120 to ship each way.
Wow.
So it ended up, plus the cost of the book, it was probably like a $250
Wow.
purchase.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's
Crazy, yeah.
incredible. Yeah. But and you have several cats as well? Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
They're all sleeping.
Oh, I see. They're great. Yeah.
Three cats.
Yeah.
Yes. Cersei, Ollie, and Milo.
Oh, I see. At the moment, I don't have any. My brother does at his house because my brother lives just down the road from me here.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's yeah.
Convenient.
And so I'm in kind of a very unusual building. That's where we have our studio, and it's in an area which used to be the spice storage area for the French Navy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it's called the Arsenal Royal. And basically, what happens is on the other side of the harbor, there's a huge clipper ship there, and you can take a tour of it and you can go inside and everything like that. So it looks like an old, almost like an old pirate ship or something like that there.
Mm-hmm.
But
How
they used to
fun.
store everything. And what happened was the building sat um, dormant for many years, and they were going to knock it down. And then the government said, no, you have to restore it because it's a national monument. So what they did is they made it into apartments and offices and things, and it's got air conditioning and underground parking and the whole thing like that. So
Yeah,
that's where I am. So it's yeah, it's very
that's very
comfortable.
cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Very cool.
yeah. And so what is your the you said the second book is going to have a slightly different feel to it? Yeah.
Yeah, the second book is called A Recipe for Disaster.
Yeah.
And so it goes through history's disasters,
Okay.
not just natural disasters, but different catastrophes, conflicts, different wars, different human-made disasters like
Hmm.
the Jones it's gone out of my head. Say Jonestown flood. Um, different, the Titanic, the
Hmm.
Lusitania, just all sorts of different things, and some of them are very much food based.
Mm,
and some of them are not. However, there is a, an aspect of food
mm,
that is important. Like with the Black Death,
mm.
food didn't cause the Black Death.
No.
Food couldn't save you from the Black Death, but they sure thought that it could. You know, they had
Mm.
certain ingredients that they thought would ward off the Black Death and stuff. So I'll be making recipes that have to do with that to try to get you through some of these worst disasters, or at least have you be able to eat something in your last hours.
Okay. Oh, that sounds great. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. Because it was interesting. I mean, I saw the recreations of some of the meals on the Titanic, and
Hmm.
the first class passengers ate very well.
That they did. That they
And I
did.
think it was,
And even the third class passengers ate pretty well for the time period.
yeah, and I think the first class passengers were still having, their cheese after the meal once they even hit the iceberg. So you thought, well, they're going to have so much food they hit that water, they must have gone to the bottom like a stone. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people were still up and awake. I mean, it was really late at night, but people
Yeah.
were still up and awake in the smoking lounge and snacking and whatnot. So
My
yeah.
gosh. Yeah. Incredible. Yeah. And so what do you have, what are your hobbies and things that you like? Yeah.
I spend almost all of my time working on tasting history, so there's
Okay.
not a lot of time other than that. By the time I finish work, I work 8 to 10 hours, 7 days a week. So by the end of the day, I usually just flop in front of the TV and build Lego.
Lovely.
I
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
enjoy Lego. It's kind of
Yeah.
the you've got the Zen monks who do the raking. For me, it's Lego. It's calming, it's relaxing, and often I do some of my best thinking when I'm doing Lego. Kind of takes your mind into another place. Um, and then I travel.
Hmm.
We travel a lot. I travel probably 10 weeks out of the year. So
Hmm.
uh, it's kind of prepping for that is a lot of the work
Yeah.
because while I'm traveling, I have to have videos coming out still. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, those are my main hobbies:
Wow.
Lego, cats, and traveling.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. I know Lego is, I mean, when I was a kid, Lego was so kind of rudimentary, kind of small, but
It's
now it's grown into
it's
this massive thing.
wildly different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's because people who, when you were a kid, fell in love with Lego, kept building their own things and making them more and more complicated.
Mm,
Um, and Lego finally caught on to this and was like, "Hey, we have adults who
mm,
instead of paying $30 or $40 for a set can afford to pay $600 for a really complicated set." I have the Titanic up here
hmm.
on my mantle, and it's one of the most fun things I've ever built. And I mean, it took weeks. And I have a Colosseum and um, the Eiffel Tower, and it's actually like 4 feet tall. And so Lego is very, very different now than what it was even when I was a kid. Though they still have obviously plenty of Lego for kids as well.
Because I know there's another YouTuber by the name of Scott Manley who does all of things like he's a astrophysicist, and
Hmm.
he loves to do Lego, and he actually did the space shuttle in Lego, and also the
Mm-hmm.
Saturn V rocket as well.
Mm-hmm. I have
Yeah,
both of them
yeah,
over here.
yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, what
Yeah.
he was doing is he did like a live stream building it. So, it was like a two-part live stream, sitting there putting all the
Yeah.
pieces together and putting it in.
People
Pretty
are always
interesting.
saying you should live stream it, you should do it while you're on Twitch, but for me it's like the only time I get to just fully relax. So I'm like,
Well, that's
no,
it. Some people
my
use this
thing.
to sort of unwind, and do this,
Yeah,
and sort
it's
of do that. It's
exactly.
it's kind of neat.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe one day I will, but
Oh,
for
okay.
now, it's my relaxation thing.
Yes. So what I'm going to do is in the comments area on here on the podcast, I'll put links to your book and all the places
Great.
so people can find that. And so I don't want to keep you too long because I know you got a busy schedule and all that. So
Cool. Thank
just
you.
wanted to see what's going on and see how you're doing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Great, wonderful. Well, thank you for sparing the time for this, and
Oh, thanks for having me.
it's
Thanks
really
for
a
inviting
pleasure.
me.
It's really wonderful. Yeah, and
I
so
always
my
love talking about my books. So,
oh, thank you. Yeah, my Spotify channel is slowly growing and growing and growing. Last episode I had Bill Malone. He's a director. He did. He's directed a lot of movies. He did Tales from the Crypt and things like this,
oh,
and stuff
yeah,
like that. Yeah. And
very
so
cool.
he was on that. First two episodes are about me. I had somebody interviewing me instead. So people wanted to know my background and all that stuff. So I did it that way. It was really a pleasure. Yeah, it was really wonderful to meet you. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Okay,
It's
great.
been a pleasure.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks a lot.
Great.
And you have a great day. Okay.